Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel, and this video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have lots of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first we're going to talk about the conflict on the territory of Ukraine, where during the previous night, once again, both the Russians and the Ukrainians attacked each other using hundreds of drones. Pro-Ukrainian sources reported that between the 23rd and the 24th of June of 2026, the Ukrainians used hundreds of drones to attack deep inside of the territory of Russia. Pro-Ukrainian sources reported about 320 drones that were used by the Ukrainians. And as you can see, according to these maps, there were at least three roads of attacks. The Ukrainians were attacking in the northern direction, the Ukrainians were attacking deep inside of the territory of Russia, and the Ukrainians were attacking Crimea. As of the updates that we have this morning on the 24th of June of 2026, the northern attack and the attack in the direction of the central part of Russia were repelled by the air defense forces of the Russian Federation. As of the southern direction, we are talking about Crimea. This attack hasn't been repelled completely, and the Ukrainians managed to hit several objects of energy infrastructure. The Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation stated that during the night, the Russians destroyed 323 drones of the armed forces of Ukraine. So let's discuss these attacks and let's discuss the details. According to pro-Ukrainian sources, as for the territory of Crimea, the Ukrainians were attacking mainly objects of energy infrastructure, and several pictures were published from this area, and sources reported that the Ukrainians were attacking power stations and substations. Furthermore, the Ukrainians continue attacking bridges through the territory of Crimea, and today we received more fresh satellite pictures where we can see the current status and the current situation with bridge infrastructure of the territory of Crimea. As you can see, lots of bridges were damaged. Probably the Russians limited the access and restricted access to this area, but the most important thing is that the Russians continue building more bridges and more sand bridges through the waters and through the reservoirs and through the barriers in the northern parts of this area. Another important thing is that the Ukrainians shift their focus partially from the territory of Crimea in the direction of the southern regions between the cities of Melitopol, Berdyansk and Mariupol. And today we start receiving additional updates on this matter. We start receiving once again videos and updates as Ukrainians were attacking vehicles, different trucks, fuel trucks through the main logistic lines that lay between Crimea, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia, Donetsk and Lugansk. In this video we can see a truck destroyed by the Ukrainians. For example, in this video we can see something like a fuel truck that was destroyed as a result of the Ukraine's drone, and here we can see lots of gas stations that were destroyed by the Ukrainians that has been destroyed by the Ukrainians since the beginning of this year. And as you can see, the Russians is not the only side who attacks gas stations through the territory of Ukraine. We see that the Ukrainians are trying to do the same. They're trying to destroy as many as possible gas stations with the purpose to create a fuel crisis. As for the Russian side, during the previous nights, lots of explosions and attacks and interesting videos were recorded and published. The sources reported that the Russians attacked the city of Nikolaev as of the morning of the 24th of June of 2026. It's unknown for sure what exactly the Russians were attacking. The city of Zaporizhzhia, lots of explosions were recorded through the settlements, and for example, this gas processing station was destroyed by Russians. In this video we can see how the Russians were attacking this facility with drones. Most likely this is not the overnight attack, most likely this is the video of a previous day's attack, but one thing is clear, that the Russians continue attacking objects of energy infrastructure through the central and the eastern parts of Ukraine. Another important thing worth attention, that the Russians have stopped completely bombing the western parts of Ukraine. Probably since the beginning of this year we received one or two episodes when the Russians were attacking the western parts of Ukraine. As of the current situation, the current stage of the special military operation, the Russians attacked just the central and the eastern parts of the state. The western parts of the city of Zaporizhzhia, a very important video was published from the western parts of the settlement. If you remember, yesterday we discussed that the Russians were attacking these territories, and we had lots of videos with the dozens of trucks destroyed at the Russian attack. And today, on the 24th of June of 2026, we received more details on this matter. This video was published today by pro-Russian sources, and in this video we can see a parking site with dozens of trucks in this area, and the Russians, when they discovered this parking site, they attacked this territory with dozens of drones, and as a result of attack, lots of vehicles in this area were completely destroyed. Later, pro-Russian sources stated that during the 24th of June of 2026, the Russians carried out the second attack in this area, and as a result of the second attack, the rest of these trucks were completely destroyed. Another important thing, that's in the same area the Russians also attacked and destroyed a gas station, and this video was published today by pro-Ukrainian sources. In this video we can see the consequences of attack: black smoke over this gas station right after the Russians attacked this territory. Later we received additional details on this matter. We see that the gas station wasn't destroyed completely, like reduced to ruins, but the gas station was damaged significantly. And this is not the first gas station that has been destroyed by Russians since the beginning of this year. Of the 24th of June of 2026, probably a dozen of gas stations have been already destroyed by Russians. Now we're moving further. The city of Pavlograd, the video with the consequences of attack was published. Special services of Ukraine are trying to stabilize the situation. Fire crews are trying to extinguish the fire after another Russian attack. Now let's move further. The northern directions. During the previous night, we received a very interesting update from the city of Sumy, and once again the Russians, as a result of attack, destroy the gas station in this area. And this is also probably a 10th gas station that was destroyed by Russians as a result of a massive attack. And as we discussed during the previous videos, we see and understand that the Russians are tasked to destroy every single gas station that is located through the southern and the eastern parts of Ukraine. So everything to the left and to the bottom of this black line would be destroyed by Russians. We're talking about gas stations, oil bases, and so on. And if it happens, of course, the armed forces of Ukraine will start suffering significant problems with logistics. As for the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, this morning they reported that during the overnight attack, the Russians used just 101 drone, which means that once again the Russians haven't used let's say, thousands of drones, and this means once again that the Russians managed to accumulate additional 100 or 200 of drones to the total drones that has been accumulated by Russians since the beginning of the 15th of June of 2026. Probably the Russians are waiting when the Zelensky's ultimatum expires regarding the territory of the Republic of Belarus. I would like to remind you that a week ago the President of Ukraine Zelensky issued the ultimatum to the Republic of Belarus, and he demanded the President of the Republic of Belarus to remove equipment of the Russian Federation from the territory along the border between Ukraine and the Republic of Belarus. So we are talking about the communication equipment that is located in this area that Russians used to coordinate their drones. Zelensky issued this ultimatum on Thursday or on Friday the previous week, and we see that 3 days left before this ultimatum expires, and if Zelensky does everything he promised, then he would attack by the end of this week the territory of the Republic of Belarus and the equipment along this area. As for the Republic of Belarus itself, we have statements. Belarus has everything necessary to defend against any aggressor. That was stated by the President of the Republic of Belarus. Furthermore, we received the report that the President of the Republic of Belarus is going to leave the territory of the Republic of Belarus, and probably he's going to go to Russia. So this is a normal practice, as you may know. Every time before any massive attack carried out by the Russian Federation, the President of Ukraine Zelensky leaves the territory of Ukraine for the security purposes, and most likely the President of the Republic of Belarus is going to do the same, because everybody understands that it's better to stay on the safe side if another round of escalation happens. Another important thing, the Belarusians began the mobilization drills on the territory of the Grodny district, so through the most western parts of the Republic of Belarus along the border with Poland and Baltic states. We see that the escalation in this area is really possible. Now let's switch some back and let's discuss the situation on the ground. And first let's talk about the Slavyansk-Konstantinovka direction. During the previous 12 hours, additional changes on the ground were recorded. The Russians, as you can see, improved their positions between the settlements of Nikolaevka and Kalenovka, and these are the changes on the ground between the dates. This is the end of the 23rd of June, and this is the beginning of the 24th of June of 2026. The Russians managed to establish complete control over these strongholds and to answer this big forest right in front of the settlement of Nikolaevka. The battle for the territories to the east of the Seversky Donetsk-Donbass Canal are coming to its end. Furthermore, the Russians continue bombing and attacking logistics of Ukraine in this area, trying not to allow the Ukrainians to introduce additional forces to the east of the Seversky Donetsk-Donbass Canal. The situation here continues deteriorating for the armed forces of Ukraine. As for the northern direction, or as for the Lyman direction, we have changes as well. According to very reliable pro-Russian sources, the armed forces of the Russian Federation were forced to fall back from the Ukrainian side of the river of Seversky Donetsk in the area of the villages of Tatianovka and Prishep, and these are the changes on the ground. Based on this report, we have adjusted these territories as a gray zone because we start receiving first updates that the Ukrainians managed to stabilize the situation. At the same time, we received a video from the city of Lyman, and here we have another episode published by pro-Russian sources where we can see Russian soldiers moving through the southern parts of the settlement. Today, pro-Russian sources reported that the southern parts of the city of Lyman was taken by the Russians completely and secured, and here we have a video with the Russian flags. So the Russians, as a result of offensive operation, managed to secure completely the southern parts of the city of Lyman, and the Russians continue advancing further in the western direction. As of the 24th of June of 2026, the Russians haven't reported about complete control over the cities of Lyman and Konstantinovka, but we expect this to happen in coming days. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation through the north and through the Sumy direction. Today we have lots of very interesting updates. The Russians, as a result of clashes, established complete control over the settlement of Ivolzhanskoye. And these are the changes on the ground between the previous 2 days. This is the end of the 22nd of June. This is the end of the 23rd of June of 2026. The Russians improved their positions through the settlement of Kondratievka according to different sources. And this is the situation by the beginning of the 24th of June of 2026. The Russians, according to the group of forces north, managed to establish complete control over the settlement of Ivolzhanskoye, and this is not just another village through the Sumy direction that was captured by Russians. This is a breakthrough. The Russians managed to bridge the fences of the armed forces of Ukraine to the north of the city of Sumy. Most likely in coming days we will receive additional updates about additional developments of Russians in this area. The Russians most likely would try to finish the battle for the eastern parts of the city of Pisarevka with the purpose to maintain this bridge, and the Russians would try to establish complete control over the settlements of Kianitsa and Novaya Sich with the purpose to take under complete control everything which is located inside of this pocket, inside of this red line between the villages of Kondratievka and Ivolzhanskoye itself. And if it happens, this is going to be something like a breakthrough, and from these positions the Russians most likely could continue offensive operation further in the southern direction with the purpose to answer and to get the river of Psol. This is the river of Psol, something like a natural barrier. If the Russians would try to take everything to the north of the river under complete control, and this could lead to unpredictable consequences to the entire configuration of the Ukraine's defense in this area, and this breakthrough may force the Ukrainians to fall back from several directions, especially from the northeastern Sumy direction, from the territory of the Velika Rybitsa. Otherwise, the Ukrainians could be caught by the Russians in Cauldron if the Russians continue offensive and continue doing everything they're doing everything right now. So the situation in the Sumy direction continues deteriorating, especially when the Russians almost every single day destroy another gas station or another oil base or another truck depot where Ukrainians try to keep their forces, trade fuel, and so on. And that's it for the short video. The Military Summary channel reminds we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye-bye.